Welcome to Retro Sparkle Designs. Today's tutorial will be on the Emmalin top. For pattern pieces, we will need one front main, one front liner, one back, which I have folded in half here, two bottom ruffles, one neckband, and two sleeve ruffles. We will begin with taking our bottom ruffles and placing them right sides together. Align those short raw edges, pin, and then sew. Here we have the fully sewn together ruffle, and we will now need to gather the top. Here is the fully gathered ruffle. Let's go ahead and set this aside, and we will prepare the bodice. Start by laying out your front main and your front liner, both right sides up. The liner is going to be our partial front, and the main is the one that's got the full shoulders. Take your main and lay it over the top of your liner. Both of these will be right sides up, so the wrong side of your main will be touching the right side of the liner. And then go ahead and pin your shoulders together, and then we will be placing the back right sides together with the front and pin the shoulders. When adding the back, make sure that you are aligning your shoulder seams correctly and that you are pinning all parts together. On the side with the shorter shoulder top, make sure you are pinning both edges of that. So when you sew this together, you're making sure you're getting all the layers. And then go ahead and sew. Here is the completed shoulder seams. We're going to take the top and flip it right sides up with the back and the front, both right sides up. And then we're going to add the ruffle. So take your ruffle and we will start by adding it to the front main. So take one edge and place it right sides together with your front main and pin in place along the front main only. Once you have this pinned, you can go ahead and sew it. Here is the ruffle added to just the front main. We now need to do our side seams. So I'm going to go ahead and add a pin, pinning my front main and my front liner together. And then I'm going to take the edge of my ruffle, that raw edge there, and I'm going to also pin that to the liner to make sure when I sew my side seams, I'm including the ruffle in there so I don't wind up with any raw edges. Now go ahead and take your back and we're going to fold it over the front. So those are both right sides together. And then pin your side seam again there. For this other side where we have the ruffle, we can go ahead and pin our side seam as well. And when you're sewing this, you just want to make sure you are sewing almost all the way to that ruffle. You don't want to cut your ruffle off, and we just need to make sure that we still have space to wrap the ruffle around and attach it to the back. So I get very, very close to the ruffle, but I do not wind up sewing fully to my ruffle. There'll be a very, very small gap. Here are the side seams and a little close-up of where that ruffle is. So there is just a little itty bitty spot there. Now go ahead and flip your top right sides out, and then we will finish attaching the ruffle. So flip over to the back and then take your ruffle. We're going to place it right sides together with the back and pin along the edge. And then this is going to wrap around to the front liner. The ruffle should end about 2 inches under the hemline of the front main. So you may need to trim a little bit of your ruffle off, which I had to do. So I do just like to double check. I'll pin in place and then I'll flip my front main down to make sure the ruffle isn't super obvious underneath there. We just want to make sure there's not any weird lumps or bumps when your shirt is on. So again, if you have any extra ruffle, go ahead and trim that. If you do want a tighter ruffle or if you want to adjust your ruffle, feel free to do so as well. I just had a lot of extra, so I chopped it off. And when you're finished pinning, go ahead and sew the rest of your ruffle on. Here is that completed bottom ruffle. And then we can go ahead and set the top aside. Now we will prep the neckband and the arm ruffles. So take your neckband, fold it in half, right sides together, pin that short edge and sew. And we will do the same thing for the little ruffle sleeves. So take those and fold in half, right sides together, pin that short edge and sew. And then gather the top edge to the width of the armici. Here's the completed neckband and arm ruffles. Go ahead and find those halfway marks on the ruffles, and then fold your neckband in half, wrong sides together, aligning the raw edges, and then quarter it. Now let's add the neckband and the sleeve ruffles to the bodice. First, I'm going to quarter my neckline, and then take your sleeve ruffles and align them with the halfway marks on your armscye and add them there. Go ahead and pin those in place. And then do the same for the neckband. Place the neckband over the top of the neckline, aligning your raw edges, and then aligning those quarter points as well. Pin in place, and then go ahead and sew your neckband and your arm ruffles on. And here is your completed top.